So I'm heading out into the cold. It's about, I don't know, I think it's, I'm not sure what the temperature is. I think it said something like with a wind chill it felt like 22. So, I mean, that's not that cold, but it's cold. And let's go see what's going on out there. So I'm out here and I've got my snow shovel. And let's see if I can get that. There it is. There's not a lot of snow here. A lot of people have been already scraping up the snow, so I don't have too much work here. My fellow neighbors have been keeping it pretty clear, so I'm just going to do a little shoveling and then I'm going to go down. I'm going to head west and take a little walk and see what's going on. Okay, so I've done my little shoveling duties. It wasn't much, so I get to at least say that to myself that I did a little something. That's nice. Little pathway here. And now I'm going to go on a little walk and see what's going on out in the streets of New York City. It's really not very cold. I'm totally overdressed. Of course, a little shoveling can make that seem, as you'll see, there's scaffolding above me. There's always scaffolding in this city. Hard to go a few blocks without scaffolding. The city always in the middle of building. All right, so I'm going to turn the camera around and you'll see what's going on. Okay, so there's 7th Avenue, looking north. It's still snowing a little bit. Heading south to the clouds. Snow plows have been through. Thinking I might head west. It's slippery, but for the most part, this wasn't a huge snowstorm. So I'm in Chelsea. This building is right ahead with the banners. It's the Live Arts, New York Live Arts. This Bill Jones Arnie Zane Company. And up there are the dance studios where they, take classes and practice. Over fall, I can't remember, I was able to catch a live performance they do in the window, and he was there, and it was pretty fabulous. I was on my bike and I stopped and just kind of watched for a while.
Another trail where they had 2 Negro crews. The state highway patrolman ordered the first Negro to take the flag down. I question America. Is this America, the land of the free and the home of the brave, where we have to sleep with our telephones out of the hook because our lives be threatened daily, because we want to live as decent human beings in America? Thank you.
Those many things that you get to see when you live in New York. You know, you just kind of happen upon these things that are going on. People doing performance art or dance, music, performance of some kind. And sometimes you're just lucky enough to kind of happen upon it, which is one of the amazing and beautiful things about living in New York City. I just love that. So this poor guy's trying to drive his bag through the snow. And let's see. Thank you. Hi, how are you? And little outdoor dining here. Set up. More outdoor dining. I'm being taught, I read that they were talking about allowing this outdoor dining to continue indefinitely. Just sort of fabulous. Look at this, hilarious, right? The fake flowers with the snow all over them. Love that. Kind of walking through a snowbank right now. So this is 8th Avenue. I'm looking south. This is the Joyce Theater. And when I was when I first had my son, he was a baby. There was this dance performance. I can't even remember what it was, but we really wanted to go. So we went. Nick was under a year old. He couldn't walk, so he must have been like 6 months, maybe less. And all the people near us kind of groaned. I mean, they just had this look of horror as we entered the theater with the baby in my arms. And I was so freaked out about leaving him with anyone when he was so little. So, to show this. So, it's 8th Avenue. So, we sat down, and every time he would fuss, I would just breastfeed him, and he fell asleep. He didn't make any noise. And when the show was over, people came up to me and said, I cannot believe, had I not seen you enter with your baby, I never would have known he was here. We took him everywhere. Now, I think this is the place that used to be Man Ray. It was a restaurant. I used to come here with friends of mine. And then down here on 14th Street was a place called Little Nell's, owned by Nell Campbell, who was a young, I guess, movie celeb when she was very young, and was in Rocky Horror Picture Show. Anyway, it turned out that she lived close by, and she actually knew a bunch of people that I knew, so we met and we became friends for a short time. And we used to go dancing at Little Nell's, so we'd have dinner at Man Ray here, which is now some sort of, I don't know what. And then we'd go down to Little Nell's and go dancing. Little trivia. All right, so I'm going to, let's see. So there's heading north. So it's barely snowing. I mean, there's like little kind of sad flurries right now. There's nothing, you know, they're kind of dejected flurries. And, gonna head down here. Now, when Hurricane Sandy hit, a couple of these buildings, I don't know if it was on 8th or 9th, I can't remember, a whole building whose facade had completely been taken out, and you could just see like a dollhouse, you know, without a side. You could see the old Times Square in the Lower East Side when I was first moved to New York. Little sex shops. I think this is the only one. God, it's going early. I mean, how early well, anyway, we don't need to speculate, but it is, pretty early in the morning. So, all right. Here's a little ice cream shop. I keep meaning to go here because it just looks so inviting, but I never have. I got kind of into an ice cream jag over a few months back. Thankfully, I only wanted to eat this one ice cream. It was called like Java something Buzz. It was a Ben & Jerry's and it was coffee. Amazing. Now, thankfully, and I'm very grateful for this, by the way, it was really hard to find. So whenever I'd find a place that had it, I'd pretty much buy them out. So at one point, I think we had 8 containers of it in our freezer. And I did manage to kind of rock through that stuff pretty quickly, almost at a terrifying pace. And I thought, it's good that this is no longer available. And then at a certain point, there's just like I bought everybody, I guess, around out within a mile of us. And honestly, I was grateful for that. And so I haven't had any since, which is a good thing. That's not exactly filled with nutrition. I mean, I guess one could say calcium, but really we're stretching it, don't you think? So, more scaffolding. Hello, New York. You're in New York when you've walked 2 blocks and there's scaffolding. You're definitely not in New York if you walk 10 and there's none. So I'm heading south. I've got a blog post to write. And look at this. Luckily, I don't have on my big snow boots, but I do have on my little snow boots, so I can get through this snow bank. And this is less than 24 hours after the snow. So you can imagine what it's like when it keeps snowing and the plows come and these banks get really, really high. I always feel badly for people who bicycle and their bikes are then buried. I'll photograph one if I see one. But they're like buried and you'll see a pair of handlebars above the peeking out from the snow. Okay, I promised I would take a shot of a bike buried. Here's one. Perfect example. That guy's not going anywhere. Poor guy. More scaffolding up ahead. And doing my little morning walk. As I said earlier, way overdressed. I mean, it just isn't that cold. I'm not even wearing mittens or gloves. So they're putting down a lot of salt to melt the snow and keep it from icing up. And of course, that's horrible for people who have dogs. They have to put little plastic booties on them so they don't burn their paws. Thank you. a little bike, but he's pretty, well, they didn't toss snow on him, so that's good. Oh, here's a guy with a snow blower. Now, our building doesn't have a snow blower. We just have shovels, and we've got a couple intrepid shareholders who always come out and shovel, which is why I thought I should do my part today. Here's city bikes. I think people are going to be taking out the city bikes anytime soon. Not today, anyway. Piles of garbage. It's very busy here in New York City this morning. Okay, that's just like a big puddle right there. And I just saw her, this other woman, walk through it. And I can tell that it's going to go over my boots. So she has on, you know, like Wallies or whatever. And I don't. So I'm not going to attempt that. I don't know if you can see, but it's pretty cloudy. Coffee line. Alright, so this is a little... Here's the old Barney's. Out of business. That's where you could land a t-shirt for $1,000 if you wanted. No longer. I put a lot of work into that building. It used to be on this corner, and it went all the way up. They had the whole building, and it was kind of like a little sister to the big Barney's. It was built on up on 60th off 5th Avenue, deceased at 5th. But then they closed that one. They kept the one on 60th. Then they opened this other one, and it never really did very well. I think they just like I said, $1,000 for a t-shirt. So the subway is right down here. That's the trains you hear rumbling by. This used to be a pet store, and I used to, not where they sold animals, but where they sold the food and all that. And I used to get our food for our kitty. Now I just order it online. You know, a subscription, so every few months we get an automatic delivery. It makes life very easy. So, heading back home. I'll see everyone in a little while. Okay, I'm home, and you can see the building across the way with all the snow, a little bit of snow anyway. It was not as cold as I had thought. It was actually, I don't know, it's got to be more than 30 degrees out there. I was way overdressed, and it's good to be home. I'm going to fix myself some tea and get ready for the day. Thanks for coming with me on a little snowy walk.